So I thought I'd do a little update on my Chevy Cummins project. It's a 95 Silverado, previously two-wheel drive truck. Solid axle swapped, Dana 60 right here. Been working on this truck for a few years. And I probably won't get to work on it until after Thanksgiving, so I thought I'd do a video of what I've been working on today. Let me just crawl under this alignment rack here. Alright. So here's what I finished doing earlier today is transmission Crossmember, and that is a totally custom piece built by me. It's a 2x2 3/16 wall thickness, 1/4 inch end plates. It took me a while to build this, probably longer than I want to admit, but it was a challenge because I had to figure out where the transmission was going to end up sitting, because swapping the Cummins in, the end of the tranny sits about 6 inches back from the 350 4L60 powertrain, and that caused a bunch of problems because I couldn't run the same drive shaft that I was running before, same length drive shaft to my transfer case. I ended up having to move my transfer case back. So that's another thing I was working on today, was creating clearance for the top of the transfer case, like that right there. I had to cut out a section of the body right here, and so what I did is I cut that out with a Sawzall, and then I went and welded in this piece of metal onto that, and the piece of metal is quite a bit thicker than the metal that I cut out, because if you want to keep the strength to the body, it's just like when you C-notch a frame. The piece that you fit into the C has to be thicker than the frame, considerably thicker, to keep the strength up. And this doesn't really matter, it's just me being perfectionistic. But I don't know, the way I've been doing this stuff recently is I really want to be happy with everything I build. I don't want to have to rush myself or just cut corners or anything. I want to just take my time and be happy with the end result and not have to go back and do anything over again. It's hard to see the motor mounts in the bottom here. Yeah, that's not gonna look very good from here. So, but I already showed those in the previous video. But yeah, I have a ton of stuff left to do on this, and I gotta build a new crossmember for my transfer case, and I'm not 100% sure on how I want to do that yet, because I need to create clearance for the exhaust. The setup I had before is sitting on the ground right here, and the way that worked was, let me zoom in real quick, that used the factory mounting configuration that the truck transfer case came from a Dodge. It's mounted the same way it mounts in a Dodge, or it was mounted the same way it was mounted in the Dodge. It uses the mounts on the top of the case, but those aren't legitimate because you can't get it on this Chevy. I couldn't get at those bolts without picking the body up off the frame, so that's kind of a service nightmare. And over here, this crossmember, this side of the 3x3 tubing there, was right here, and that is where I want my exhaust to go, so I've got to do something different there. And this really, it's unfortunate. I mean, that took me quite a few hours to build that. I had to just hack it out with a sawzall. But that's what happens. I mean, I've probably redone almost everything on this truck over again. Everything from these shackle hangers right here, which I fabricated myself. I can get the light on there. There you go. You move the shackle forward or back, get the shackle angle correct for your spring position and everything. And I started out with Fabworks hangers, and that didn't work at all because those are offset and it destroyed the bushings, and there's no way that'd be able to hold up at Cummins. I don't know why they sell them the way they do, but hopefully Brian or whatever his name is from Fabworks isn't watching this video. But yeah, and the same for the front. I mean, I've redone those twice now. I had a kit from Off-Road Design that experimentally I tried. It didn't work. Anyway, enough about that. That's already done, and that's an old videos cover that. So you can see this. What's left of the hole in the floor where I had my twin stick shifter. We got to redo all that. So, and I got to shorten my torque arm. It's just sitting right here. If you guys haven't seen this setup before, this is how I designed the torque arm. It bolts onto the pinion here on the 14 bolt. It's also a pinion guard. And on the side here, there's a piece that welds onto the axle, and then it bolts over that. It fits over that. It's kind of hard to show. So this whole piece is removable, so you can still change your gears or whatever if you have to. And this is something else I got to fix here. I've seen a ton of these swaps done, and no one has this problem. I don't know why I have it, but for whatever reason, my calipers, when they're mounted in the normal position that they should be in, hit the springs. Look at the clearance. I don't know if you can see that. The camera's not focusing on what I wanted to focus on, but yeah, if you move that bracket, come on camera, work. If you move that bracket up so the caliper's in the position that it should be in, the back of it where the line connects is like right up on the spring. It's not touching it, but it's really close, and if the pads wear out, it would touch it. I don't know what to do about that yet. Just another thing I gotta solve. I also currently don't have a parking brake, and since the Cummins I'm swapping in, I've got an NV4500 behind it. I'm gonna have to add some kind of parking brake too. So I'm thinking about doing a driveline brake. So, alright, that's probably about all I can think of for now.